Hey, how's it going, everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, chapter 191, Real Dragons. The cover page for this chapter is very summer themed, with a bunch of the Fairy Tail girls all in presumably the Fairy Tail pool, and they're just having a blast. Which honestly, it really just seems like Lucy, Mira, and Urza are having a good time. Meanwhile, Juvia is just like kind of there in the background, not really wanting to be there because you dang well know she just wants to be in the pool with Gray. I really like this cover because it's just super summer vibes and I don't know, just kind of fun right now. So our chapter picks up with Natsu still fighting against Wed, which he just kind of gets sent flying back, and then we kind of go back into the conversation that was brought up last chapter versus like real dragons versus fake dragons, and Natsu calling the Fire and Flames members fake dragons. And honestly, Natsu really does have to be pissing off Wed, because even his guildmates are calling to Wed to calm him down because he knows he's getting way too heated. I do like the banter with the Fairy Tail side of things here, to where even like Lucy and Gray call out Natsu for being a little heated at times, and I like that Natsu immediately gets super defensive about it. Then he thinks about it for a second, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty fair. Kind of a surprising move here, I guess. Maybe a little bit of shock value happening, because Urza wants them to release the town because they're dragonfied as well, which instead of doing that, the Fire and Flames members just start to burn all of the townspeople, like literally burn all of them alive. It's got a couple pages dedicated to this. Yeah, I guess they just want to make them hated a little bit more, to where they're ruthless killers, I guess now. Which obviously doesn't go too well for them, because you obviously get the Fairy Tail members very pissed off that they could be so cruel to these people. First you turn them into dragons, and then you decide to just burn them alive, which obviously this gets Natsu very, very, very pissed off, which has him ask them, what do you even think human lives are worth? Which honestly doesn't really take too much of a rocket scientist to figure out that Wed was obviously not going to think very high of human lives, equating them to insects, which is very rich coming from the guy that literally was a human like practically a couple days ago. Which immediately has Natsu attack Wed, which pretty much has him clock him immediately in the face. But you get moments from everyone else, and I really like this panel with Lucy and Urza doing Stardress and Requip at the same time. Kind of a super unique panel that you get both of them doing it in the same panel. Like, very cool. Pretty much get everyone gearing up here, because Gray is going up against the Fire Make wizard. And he's obviously doing his ice make, and then you get Wendy kind of going back to earlier gags in 100 Year Quest, where she gets turned into the jellyfish, but that's just an illusion, but then eventually gets turned into like the cocoon version of herself, also from earlier arc in 100 Year Quest, but then finally goes like full Dragon Force with the wings, and then absolutely destroys her opponent. Also in that same panel, you get Urza defeating her opponent. Also very cool that we get two brand new attacks from them, with Wendy doing a Dragon Slayer Secret Art Flare Burst Sky Drill. Very cool, which I'm going to say she probably inspired from Natsu. And then Urza doing Sea God's Marine Moment. Going into the next panel, you get Gray defeating his opponent and Lucy defeating hers, which both of them are using attacks we've already seen in the past, but still like cool that they're basically all defeating Fire Flames at once. And with pretty much all the lackeys except for Wed defeated, I like that Natsu just like, you gotta rub it in to where it's like, you aren't even real dragons, like your flames can't even burn us. I also just really like his stare at him when he's saying it's over, like very cool. And Natsu fully finishes them off doing a Blazing Depth Charge sword, which he definitely had to have entered Lightning Flame Dragon mode, because there is like lightning arcing in this attack, so kind of cool that it gets that. I'm kind of shocked it wasn't like put into the attack name, because usually we'll have Lightning Flame Dragon in the name some way, some form, somehow. All this ends in a very, very cool panel with all of them defeating their respective opponent all at the same time in a full page spread. Very cool. I really, really like this panel, but honestly, Fire and Flames, they went out so dang fast. In the final page of this chapter, you get all of the Fire Flames members on the ground defeated. Pretty much all you got is Ignia now, and the girl fighting Ferris. And yet again, another panel I really like with the 100-Year Quest team all standing triumphantly over them, saying that you guys thought you could get in the way of our 100-Year Quest. You're like 100 years too early for that, which is kind of a callback in a way, which I don't even think Natsu intentionally knew that that was a callback, because like you had Lucy during like Sun Village to where she's like, you're 100 years too early to take us on. I just love it with them all standing together kind of triumphantly. Very cool. And with that, it is the end of this chapter, so my thoughts. Kind of a wild world that we've had more time fighting the Irrational Sace than Fire and Flame, who is supposed to be the main like final guild practically of the 100-Year Quest. Kind of crazy to me that we absolutely spent zero time with them, fighting them really at all, and pretty much every member got immediately one-shotted by their respective fairy tale opponent, which I'm going to guess that leads into Gajeel having his fight next chapter, since we set up that one the most. Honestly, some of the attacks to defeat Fire and Flames I think are very cool, and they're going to be very cool animated. I'm sure this will probably get expanded a bit more in the anime, because it was really dang short. Kind of wish this would have dragged on to at least 1 or 2 more chapters than just defeating them all in one go. But who knows, maybe they're not actually fully defeated. Maybe they got like a second chance mechanic. But we'll have to see in the next chapter. So what are your guys' thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Drago, signing out.